are going to a place which is more sad to look back. I will only be sharing a few of the clips that I took inside the museum. So here are the areas of concentration and extermination camps. And here happened a lot of mass killings. And a lot more places. In the square. So it includes Sebastia as well. And I have chosen the ones that are the scenes that are not so heavy. The scenes that compared to what I've seen inside are severe. I will only be sharing the milder ones, but heartbreaking scenes, heartbreaking stories. And yeah, like if you are inside the museum and just, even though you will not really put yourself on that story, but the museum presented well with proofs how did the genocide took place. And there are some statements from the survivors, and there's also the story of Aurora Mardiganian, who also survived the genocide. And on 1.5 million people 100 years ago, and you couldn't imagine actually how a human person can do that to a fellow person, especially to the women, to the children, to the old persons, and even to the unborn child. Here are the methods of mass killing, which includes mutilation, mass burning of live people, thousands of women and children driven away to the Arabian deserts, were drowned in the Euphrates, and thousands more were drowned in Tzvok, Lake of Karbier. Drowning children and women was a widely used practice, especially in that Bezond. Throwing people off bridges and cliffs were also one of the methods of mass murder. The most dreadful and cruel way of killing was target practice on the wombs of pregnant women or burying children alive. Survivors accounts exist on separation of children from Liberty Corps, squashing them under hooves, tying their hair to horse tails, dragging on the ground and amputating, burning children alive. That's it. And with all the natural disasters happening now within the world, those that we cannot control, just help people. But for something like genocide, there should be something that cannot be happened, but it still happened. in even the 20th century. We are just walking around now the Genocide Museum area, and we have visited the Memorial Wall, the Eternity Temple with the Eternity Flame, and with the column that symbolizes the rebirth of Armenian people and reborn Armenia. And we can get closer to a part of this 100-meter long hall. So here are some letters and names of cities and of population that was affected by genocide. And here are also symbols of eternity wheel. We are now on the other side of the memorial wall, and here are names of people who helped Armenians during genocide. Some of the names here are the ones who took care of the Armenian orphans. So they became the mothers of children who survived the genocide. And here also are political and intellectual figures who protested also against genocide. And actually, part of the wall that made this wall are taken from the soil of their tombs. Now we are going to visit the Eternal Flame here. So we are now in these areas with 12 slabs. There are steps going down, which reminds us to lower our head as a sign of respect. So this is the Temple of Eternity, and it has 12 granite steels that is inclined, and these 12 slabs symbolizes the 12 cities of Armenia that has been occupied by the other country now. In the middle of the Temple of Eternity is this eternal flame in memory of all the victims of the Armenian Genocide. And every 24th of April, Armenians dedicated that day in memory of the genocide. So they come here and offer flowers to their ancestors. It's almost been 100 years that has passed since Armenian Genocide. And here at the back is the memorial pillar, or a rebirth of an Armenian people. This 44-meter tall pillar symbolizes a reborn Armenia and the rebirth of Armenian people. And it is arrow-shaped, pointing up to the sky, symbolizes the survival and the spiritual rebirth of Armenians. And as you can see, like, it has somehow split or partly split vertically, and it means the tragic and violent separation of Armenians. So it is like there are Armenian diaspora and the Armenians who are remain to be here in Armenia, but in spite of that, Armenians remains to be united. So this is the Armenian Genocide Museum. Here is the memorial wall, the Temple of Eternity, where is the eternal flame is, and this memorial column of the reborn Armenia. And I hope that with the awareness of genocide, we just hope for world peace and nothing will ever happen again to be like that. And so, as I've mentioned, for all those sacrifices and the lives lost, the best thing that we can repay them is to keep the faith, and to have the faith as what they have had, even amidst their death and losing their lives. Outside the museum also are memorial trees which was planted by people or by presidents of other countries who recognize the Armenian Genocide.